Here we go again, second solo CM with our newly acquired gear from the Doom of Mokha. A 0? A 1? Oh, I messed up. I was a tick behind. I thought so. Humble 0 tank there, though. Finish it, please. 25. Thank you. Alright, the second raid, we're doing crabs much better than the first time around. Thank you very much. What did I even just click on? Build our chest, throw our overload and enhance in there, as well as our supplies. Then we can deposit all, pick up our axe, chop, and make our way over to the tinderbox. The world feels kind of laggy right now. I should have hopped. I set this on the last raid, and I just didn't hop. Alright, that's one inventory. I mean, we were just one shy, but that's okay. Hopefully I didn't forget anything in my setup, as this is a new setup we just made. Do a little bit more chopping. Alright, we can now drop the axe into the tinderbox. Wow, we actually chopped a third full inventory. I usually don't get to do that, I don't think. My inventory looks all funky. So I think I'm supposed to Ember Light spec here. I think last raid I Elder Maw spec'd. But I think the move is an Ember Light spec. Okay. You know, maybe this Ultor Mage's Ring combination hinges upon using Surge Pots. And dude, I forgot my potions again. Last raid, I forgot my Overload and Enhance, and once again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm absolutely trolling. I've done this 1,000 times, by the way. But one little detail. A few changes to the meta. And I don't know how to do this raid anymore. Gee, I wonder why the shaman room is taking so long. Oh, I got hit by that? Unbelievable. A good thing we have so much health because we didn't overload. It was a calculated move. Okay, we remembered how we prep. Spade, 13 juice, 8 mushrooms, inventory full of vials, but then we drop 4 immediately afterwards, and this works out perfectly. Once we fill all the vials, we deposit 10 into the chest, and then we fill our inventory up with Buchu. Or more specifically, we're actually going to grab 8 for our 8 restores. So 6, 7, and 8. And the patch actually broke, but that's why we placed 2 patches down. Or planted 2 seeds down. So we make our 8 revits, chuck those in shared. We got the 10 vials from earlier. Now we have 13 in total, 13 juice, and we have 13 inventory slots available to pick all the Buchu we need. I quite literally have done this probably like, with the 13-8 number, probably like 300, 400 times. I've done like other variations like 15 and 8 for when I had like really bad gear and stuff. I think honestly this 13 and 8 is an over prep. But it's like nice and comfortable. It's not probably an over prep. It's most definitely an over prep, but I mean, who cares? For Vanguards, I like to bring out the Overload Enhance, obviously, but then also 2 brews and 1 restore. And then on the way to the Vanguard room as we overload, we can actually sip 3 brew doses and restore. And by the time we get here, our stats are back up to full. We can rip the ZCB, switch into our mage gear, and our shadow should be in long range so we don't get dragged out like that. But that's okay. We can also make use of our thralls, which in the past, actually, I made it a point not to bring thralls into this room. Not exactly sure the reasoning. I think it was like inventory space, but I think these days it's fine. I don't quite remember my reasoning, but I used to not bring thralls here. For sure. I probably should have ran to the ranger. Now, I don't know what my range max hit is now, but I found out that my mage max hit is now a whopping 75, so we gotta watch out for that. It used to be a 69. We're absolutely smacking. I say that and proceed to hit a 0. Into a 7. Into another 0? Alright. Classic, right? Okay, we need to chip away at the melee. Long range with the shadow. It's not hitting very hard, and I was just talking about how my max hit is a 75. Come on. Dude, come on now. What a joke. I don't know what my melee max hit is now either. I think it used to be an 85, but I mean, with the way the scythe works, I was rarely ever going to hit anything close to an 85. It wasn't as much of a concern. I hate when that happens. It digs. It's one shot. Okay, I don't think I left anything, right? No, we're good. So right here, as we get grubs, we're going to switch into our range gear with the ZCB equipped specifically. Make sure that bad boy is on long range. It is, so that we have the ZCB spec ready for Vespula. Previously, it was more important for me to dump my potions during this because of run energy management, but ever since the run energy changes, I don't think it matters at all. We're going to grab 30 grubs here. I don't know what I was clicking there. Okay, I let it sit there for a little while without eating, so we might need a little bit more than 30 in case it regened. I wasn't really paying attention. Alright, there we go. And then right here, we bring out everything. Well, not quite everything, I suppose. We don't need the Elder Maw and the Arclight anymore, or the Emberlight. We're actually going to pre-overload here and have Redemption on so that we get a bit of health back. I can actually also go ahead and drop the Enhance because we're going to get a fresh new set during or after Vespula, I should say. I may not have done a proper entry here. No, we're fine. That should be good. Let's start brewing up. Switch into our range gear. We can switch the ZCB into rapid now because we don't need the extra range. We can bin this 2-dust restore and then bring out another brew just in case. Now, surprise, surprise, we're doing tightrope the normal way. No fancy schmancy skips here today. If I ever do want to get like a respectable speedrun time, it's something I do have to do though. And we wouldn't be prepping, or at least not like a full prep. Maybe like a baby prep at most. Huge hit. Good DPS this time around. We didn't get smacked too hard, so we were able to keep our stats up. That was a 55-second Vespula. That felt quick, I think. I don't know. It's been a long time, so like I don't really have a good like memory or reference of like what's really good or not. Right here, we're going to precip the stamina just for convenience. We're going to chuck the stamina in, though. Come out with 2 restores and the rest of the inventory brews. Fairly certain I did not forget anything. I think we're good. We also equipped the pickaxe and the defender before accessing the chest so that we could have an extra inventory slot. You know, the boots go okay with this regular oath plate, but I imagine it looks a lot better with Radiant oath plate. So when it comes to Guardians into Vasa, I also do need to learn or simply just mark the tiles for the teleport skip. I don't know if there's necessarily much to learn in that regard. It looks fairly simple, I just simply don't have the tile markers. Unless there's more to it, I could be mistaken. Okay, our overload is about to expire in about 20 seconds. Same thing with the enhance. But we're going to go ahead and sip the overload right now and then drop it. Equip our scythe so that we have it ready to use for the crystals. And then we're going to swap into our range gear, ZCB equipped. Summon our thralls. Spec ready. We'll sip a brew after a teleport. Enhance ran out, so we'll sip that too. ZCB misses, quite unfortunate. What can you do? That was not great right there. Terrible DPS. We did a whopping 44 damage before it got the first crystal. Good scythe swings right there, though. Second crystal. Make our way around Vasa so that we don't get run over. In the event that you do need to run through Vasa, praying melee actually reduces a bit of damage. Alright, we're going to have to create some room here, so pickaxe and overload equipped. Sip the enhanced, drop the pickaxe and defender equipped. Make sure we pick up the overload, rather. And then as we go, we brew up. And then restore up as well. I don't know why I'm praying preserve. I must have turned that on by mistake earlier at some point. Top our prayer up and drop this one dose. We don't need that anymore. And now we have room to equip our T-bow again. But we're going to switch into our max mage setup. Magic is better with the shadow when you don't have a salve amulet. Which, if I'm not mistaken, not bringing a salve is a pretty common choice in solo CM setups, I think. That is one mystic down. I've yet to see this magical 75 max hit in our mage setup right now. Hopefully we see it at some point. Whoa, we just hit a 69 right there, which was our previous max hit in our old setup. Second mystic down. Time to deal with the last one. If it would cooperate and turn the corner, I would very much appreciate that. Thank you. Only took like 10,000 tries. About a minute left on the overload, which is actually not ideal for entering the Muttadile room, as it's going to expire mid-fight, I think. Okay, that was my mistake. If I am tendril skipping, I should be protecting melee when I run through. As a result of not doing that, I ate a 32. Seems as though Muttadile is not quite as humble as the previous raid. Some might even say completely arrogant. Alright, it's 56%, we're not going to hit it. We're just going to finish chopping the tree. Oh my god, we're going to brew. Our overload expired, so this is where it gets sketchy. We're overloading while fighting. We have taken a crazy, crazy amount of damage here. We're going to ZCB though. And do our best to stay alive. You can tick eat Muttadile, but I'd rather not do that. Because one missed timing and we're dead. Well, it sapped a lot of our brews, but we're alive. But, like I said, we over-prepped. Pretty sure we did, so we're gonna have a ton of supplies available. Pre-pot the stamina, pre-pot the overload and enhance, and then heal up with the brews and restore our stats. Then pick up the fresh pots on the ground. And now we have a full inventory, and we go. Elder Maul equipped. We're gonna hopefully land the spec to start with. We don't. We're gonna run the head. Summon our thrall. Oh, our staff or shadow was supposed to be on normal range there. And not long range. Okay, we are now in cycle, I believe. Come on, let's see a supposed 75. Oh, I think there it is. 75. Holy. Okay, fastest mage hand in the West right there, it certainly felt like. Onto the melee hand, though. Unfortunately, we didn't hit a hammer. And in this situation, I believe a Bellator is technically better. But again, we're rocking the Altor just because I see other people rocking the Altor. And I don't actually know the reasoning why. My guess is because of the max hit. We are 3-to-1ing the scythe right now, and I very vaguely know how to world scythe, but this is just easy to do. We're going to brew there because we were in chance territory. I believe max hit is a 43. There's a 40, or there's a 37 right there, jeez. Okay, we're going to 1-0 here because I was hoping to just finish the hand right there, and I didn't want to get hit at 13 health. Beyond the Mokha upgrades, we also switched our setup in the sense that we're now using an Altor and a Mage's Ring instead of just a Altor and Lightbearer. Okay, I was actually late to start there and I had to tank a hit, but luckily we were protecting range anyways. So typically I would have more spec energy than what I have now. We did end up hitting the hammer, so that's nice. Can we get another 75? I should have flicked to my Missouri armor there, since I was already protecting range. But I flicked into the wrong armor set. There we go, did it correctly that time, and it seemingly paid off. We had the wrong overhead on, but we did flick into our best magic defense armor. That is the mage hand down, and I just now realized we didn't have the mage's ring equipped that entire time, probably. We are going to chance it here. We're 41 health. That is definitely chance territory. I can't even see this portal. Okay, it's all the way on the other side. Classic, classic. Oh, huge scythe swing right there. That was absolutely massive. That was probably pretty close to a max hit. So it looks like without Light Bearer, we did get enough spec energy back for one hammer here. Although a 221 P2 is probably not very ideal. It is what it is, though. Okay, so if we hammer off Rip and immediately run to the ring finger tile, we don't get hit. This method works for P2 and P3, but on P1 you will tank one hit. I'm sure there are other methods to do it, but this is just how I've done things hundreds upon hundreds of times. Unfortunately, the head did not turn. I don't think I even summoned the draw, so let's just fix that. This is P3, so we gotta make sure not to reset the hand. Oh my god, a 74. That was a very conveniently placed portal. As you can see that I managed to reach the portal, turn the head, and not get hit. That's like one of those things that's like oddly satisfying here sometimes. Oh, we got acid. Oh, I messed up there. A 000. Unbelievable. Another one. Into a massive 7. I guess we missed our hammer, so... Flame wall skip. Let's get into the 4-to-1 cycle for range. Not the burn. T-Bow's noodling. Taking massive damage right now. The pulls come out, but I'm just gonna ignore them, honestly. And stay in cycle. I think that was a thrall finish. Once again, no purple. To be fair, can't really expect one right now based on how recently we pulled a purple. Grimy Torstals, and once again, Lizard Man Fangs. We had the same ones on the last raid. That was a 35-18, which is a little bit better than the previous run.